For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. Let the record show I took the blows and did it my way. Mr. Dave. Yes? We had a question for you. Well, alright then. What was your question there, Spooktober fans? We was wondering why you decided not to do the 5 criteria and the body count in the skulls anymore. Well, you see, I was wondering why things got a little awkward there, and why I wasn't feeling like things were going the way I wanted them to. You see, I enjoy what we do, but I don't want to bring you some weird, some strange thing that you just listened to. I wanted to bring you a fun and enjoyable exploration of the movies. Something that felt like it was from me, not hidden behind something that somebody else handed me, or some method I had seen somewhere else, but really and truly me. What I wanted to talk to you about. And so, I decided to set out on my own this time. You know, speaking of doing things my way, you might look up the My Way murders. Turns out people were killing each other for singing that song late at night. Really should be careful where you sing and who can hear you. But that's not why you're here. That's not what we're doing tonight. And that's not why you came. Tonight, Late Night with the Devil. This is a film by Cameron and Colin Cairns. It is 93 minutes and it was put out 2024. Everything starts with a young TV host. 1997, October, Halloween night. Trying to get a struggling show off the ground, only to book the wrong guest. It all starts in 1971 when Jack starts his own show, The Night Owls, with Jack Delroy. Jack, played by David Dasmalkian, who has 95 roles under his belt, is a participant in a secret group known as The Grove. For those of you who don't know anything about that, you really should do some Googling. You might find that if you typed in the words Bohemian Grove, you'd find something oddly familiar from this film, because they happen to show you a picture of it. That magical owl statue in the woods. Yeah, we're going there. But you see, Jack has made an agreement with the Grove for, the standard fare, success, fame, and power. But Jack doesn't realize all that comes at a steep price. Sorry, Jack. Jack and his poor wife end up in a bit of a struggle. You see, Jack's wife, who's never smoked a day in her life, contracts lung cancer. Oh, under very suspicious circumstances, of course. And Jack, of course, when it's all said and done, leaves television for a little while, too distraught over his poor wife to continue. But as things go, Jack tries to come back, but since he's picking a fight with Johnny Carson, things aren't going really well for him. Jack's show really is struggling. This all leads to the fateful night of Halloween 1977, when Jack books a guest who was once a faithful member of a cult and who's rumored to be possessed by the devil. Delroy is hoping this will push the ratings up, but he doesn't realize this is one guest with a connection to the Grove and his own wife. This faux doc shows what happens when you mess with things you shouldn't. Funny thing is, some people think Jack made a deal when he was at the Grove, that somehow he contacted the devil, and that this is why he was as successful as he was. Because you see, his success starts in 1971, challenging, stabbing hard at his rival, Johnny Carson, getting up to third, but never getting to taste the first. And for 7 years, he's doing okay. Him and his wife get to taste the good life and be happy. But in 1976, she dies. The devil's contracts usually only run for 7 years, don't they? And guess what? Jack, your time ran out. The devil came to collect. I think Jack should have found Johnny at their little meetings out in the forest and got him to show him his contract. Because obviously Johnny's higher up in this organization the two of them are in, or has at least been there longer and got a better deal. And poor Christo the Magnificent. Oh man, you really gotta love it when you book a guest who actually has the goods. You really gotta love it when Christo shows up and actually conjures the voice and name of your dead wife. Oh man, that really is the worst. You really should have got a divorce instead of sacrificing her, Jack. By the way, I want to give this movie an MVP for the jokes. These are the best bad jokes I've ever heard in a late night special. Especially the one about the letter organizations. That one was really killer. He wouldn't be a head of an organization that he couldn't spell. FBI, CIA, NSA. That's a funny joke. But poor Christo the Magnificent should have been more Christo the Expectorant Vomitainer, the Thunder Chunderer, the Great Ejector. Oh, I give him a 10 for spray. By the way, getting messages like that, contact from your sacrificed wife from a hack psychic, has to be the worst. I feel bad for our boy Jack. But then we move on to the Carmichael Have bit, which I have to say really was some rather spectacular up-close practical magic. He really did have a knack and a flair for the dramatic. I really did appreciate his character, and MVP award to his actor Ian Bliss, who himself has 84 roles. There is one voice who I was surprised to hear and not see, and that is Michael Ironside as the narrator. He was somehow in this film. But we get around to proving Christo is a fraud, which, unfortunately for him, he wasn't. And then we get to the poor Dr. June Ross Mitchell, thinking she can psychoanalyze a demon into a productive member of society. Silly Dr. June, thinking she could fix Lily with a little psychotherapy and a little behavioral analysis. By the way, Lily Diabo, played by Ingrid Torelli, with only 10 roles, relatively new, deserves an MVP both for Lily Diabo and for her portrayal of Mr. Wriggles. Hats off to you, Lily, and welcome to the Monsters Showcase. Welcome to being a monster. But I would say for those of you watching this for the first time, make sure you keep your eyes on Lily. Watch her the second she gets on screen. And make sure you keep an eye out for both flashes of the Demon Abraxas and Jack Delroy's dead wife, Minnie. I counted no less than 9 of them, but guess what? You should try to count as many as you can find. I'll tell you, there was not only one in the eye test, but one on the starting intro promo with the TV screen. There's one on a television screen, and then there's a full body apparition of the wife in a mirror. In the crystal ball, you see the wife's face, and then there is the one with Herb standing behind him that's a double. But if you find any outside of that, let me know down in the comments. I counted 9, but you might count more if you're paying closer attention than I was. There's even one in a mirror when Jack's walking through a doorway where she flashes up in the mirror, full body apparition behind him. Keep your eyes out for that. Also, for those of you who are questioning whether this is real from the movie, Abracadabra, as well as Abracadabra, is actually credited correctly from the Demon Abraxas, as it's written in Tobin's Spirit Guide, which is also a thing for those of you who don't know. I myself own one. I want to say I really appreciated the ghostly theremin being ghostly and woo whenever they needed it to. It's rather kind of fun that that thing did what it needed to do, and as it's so often done, freak people the fuck out. But I wish they could have done more there, but, it is what it is. And I gotta say, this is probably the best sort of communing with the devil live on air you're gonna get in film or television history. Also, we get an obligatory mention of bread and circuses, because what won't we do to entertain people or to feed them, in body or in soul? So, of course, the seance ensues. And I gotta say, we get an MVP award for the best hypnotic performance I've ever seen in my life. I've seen a lot of hypnotists hypnotize people. This has got to be one of the best hypnotizings I've ever witnessed. And I gotta say something about Carmichael Haig. There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. There's nothing wrong with being skeptical. There's nothing wrong with even being a little greedy. But one should enjoy and appreciate the level of power they are actually at, instead of hunting after the real stuff sometimes. Sometimes you only get one chance to glimpse the unspeakable and incomprehensible. Sometimes it will just drive you mad. And then sometimes it will dissolve you away, giving you exactly what you wished for. A chance to touch true power as it burns you to nothing. That's why the old saying goes, actually, you should beware what you wish for. You should fear it, because you just might get it. And I gotta say, as he does his little hypnotizing, I would say don't watch his watch. Watch Lily. Her reaction to the whole thing is quite funny. Then we get down to proving what is and is not real. Carmichael's performance was quite that. Just a performance. Dreamer here. Awake! It's funny. When Jack tries it, it doesn't quite work. I have to really applaud the young actress here. I didn't quite know that our young performers are preparing to split their own brain cases in half and shoot fireworks from them, but watching her do that was quite a show. And I have to say, award goes out to Gus for being a lovable sidekick, and to Rhys Oteri, the actor who performed for him, for the funniest "The Power of Christ Compels You" ever. The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. The power of... Poor Gus. He should have left long ago. And I gotta say, I rather enjoyed the ending, because it's like no one was there to help you, was it, Jack? There was no one there in the end, because you sold your soul. You gave up the thing that had your back, and now you have to pay the price. I gotta say, you gotta see this one. It's worth your time, and it's one of my favorite new movies of the year. it has a little bit of everything. It's got great crowd work. It's funny. It's got a really good sort of ending that is a crescendo, a lovely, beautiful bouquet at the end. But I know there were some people who weren't quite crazy about this one because it has some AI art in it. I understand those people. Having seen it myself, it's little flashcards. Not a reason not to see a movie. But at the same time, I get it. You don't want to see more of it. I too don't want to see more of it. I wouldn't allow you to make half a movie with AI. And I myself am starting to come to arms against these things because I've also had some of you ask me the Dave, where you been question this year. To which I get to tell you, stay tuned. You'll find out soon enough. I don't want to spoil that before we get to it. I'm having fun teasing you with it and letting you know just how close I am to something is. That's your present. That's letting you know that you'll hear a lot more from me very, very soon. But I really do gotta say, kudos to David Dashmalkian, Ingrid Torelli, Ian Bliss, Michael Ironside. They did a phenomenal job of being in this. The other actors were okay. Your Reese Altieri was okay. He was good. And whoever played June, she was fine. But you really were in it for the other three. I think that's going to do it for this episode, our first of Spooktober 2024. If you liked it, make sure you leave a like. Make sure you share it with a friend. And make sure you watch Late Night with the Devil, available on Shudder. October 5th, we'll be back with Stop Motion, another original from Shudder. I hope you will join us then. But for now, night, night, sleep tight. Don't let the boogeyman bite. Sweet dreams.